G'day, Starlo here, and welcome to another episode of the Fishing Hub. And tonight it's all devoted to topwater fishing. Fishing on the surface with flies and lures for a variety of different fish. Now don't forget that you can ask us questions or make comments in real time as we go along. What a really great show we've got for you tonight. In a couple of minutes we'll be joined by Robbie Alexander from Robbie Fishing, and he's going to show us some amazing surface action casting surface lures for Murray cod and trout cod down in his part of the world in northern Victoria. You know, catching Murray cod on surface lures, it is just a most amazing experience, whether you actually stay connected to them or not. Here's a little clip that I managed to capture on Copeton Dam in northwestern New South Wales a couple of years ago of a cod well over a metre smashing my surface lure. Listen to the boof. He's a big fish. He's a big fish. I wish I hadn't looked down. Unfortunately, that fish didn't stay connected, but myself and my wife Jo did manage to catch a couple of absolute crackers on surface lures during that trip. And as she usually does, Jo managed to pip me at the post, or actually not just pip me, she blew me right out of the water with this beautiful 116 centimetre cod, released of course. But we're not starting off with Murray cod tonight. Instead we're going to go back about a quarter of a century and join Rex Hunt and Will Spry on a river somewhere in New Zealand chasing wily brown trout on dry flies. Another spectacular kind of surface fishing. Check this out.
See him?
Yeah, I can.
Moving up slightly, just on the edge of the shadow there. That's great, that's great. Coming over him right there. One more. Up again, left a little. Let it go.
Slightly to the right again. There.
Okay, we'll try a change.
Change of fly?
Yep.
Right. Might be quite obvious to our fly fishing folk all around the globe what we're doing with an indicator and a nymph underneath, but probably the layman's or lay person's term, I've got to be politically correct, and I'll tell you what, I don't like it, but because ladies are still ladies and we treat them that way. But quite seriously, layman's terms, lay fisherman's terms about what we're doing.
Right. What we've got on is an emerger type pattern, which is the nymphal stage of a mayfly coming up to the surface of the river, ready to hatch out, sitting on the surface, ready to shed its skin a bit like a snake to turn into a winged adult, and trailing along behind it the actual nymph itself, which lives for most of its life below the surface before it finally comes up to the surface in its sexual maturity to mate and die.
I suppose, folks, a lot of you would think, gee, the trout rise to the dry fly. I suppose it's fair to say that a majority, probably over 90 or 95% of the trout's food is taken under the surface of the water.
Quite true.
So it's no good being where the fish ain't, folks. You've got a dry fly on top and they're taking the nymph. You might as well go to the cricket. Let's change that to what you were suggesting there, Will. Look at this.
There he is.
Well, folks, what we have here is a real good example of rejection. And when we speak about selective feeding, they just don't commit suicide, Will.
No, not at the best of times, Rex.
So what do you do when you continually get a knockback and he's clearly not interested at this stage?
I like to have a pause, give them a break for 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, we've done that.
Head on upstream. And come back when he's feeding a bit more actively again and try him again. It's usually those first couple of casts that are the determining factor. If they don't take it then, you've got to give them a long pause and then come back and try again later on.
What I like about the joint, folks, is that if you get done in one position, just walk 100 metres and then there's another one. Butterflies, snow, it's a beautiful country. I might be going fishing. I might move over here. Fantastic. Come on, Will.
Let's sneak up to this current a bit here. Try it on the drop here, Rex, where it goes from shallow into deep. Good length. Good one. Right under you. Now. There it is, strike. Good shot.
Ooh,
Well done.
He inhaled that, didn't he?
Nice fish too.
Didn't he inhale that?
Beautiful.
Oh, lovely
Brilliant.
brown.
Here he comes.
Didn't he just inhale that?
Nice shot.
Whoa,
And he's
wagons ho! Look at my two blokes down there getting out of the way. You idiots! Have a look at them. You idiots! Oh, wagons ho! Come on, Will.
Good fish. Nicely done, Rex. You got him on the run now.
Oh, gee whiz. You idiots!
Well done.
Oh, how good's that? Oh, boy. Didn't he inhale that? Oh, nice fish too,
Nicely
eh?
done, Rex.
Oh,
Good cast, Rex. Terrific.
yeah, look at that.
Yep, you got him there.
Hey, a beautiful male brown. Oh,
He's leading you on a merry
is he?
chase.
What?
Look at this. Here he goes
tell
again.
you what,
Oh,
no wonder you love it here, mate.
he likes me.
Oh, look at this.
Shall we
Look
grab
at
some
this.
forceps, Rex, and grab
Yeah,
him for you?
Sure, don't
Yeah.
worry.
Hey, well done.
Look at that.
Nice fish.
Look at that. I tell you what, I just
That's a
might,
pretty one.
I
You
just
do.
might just do that for Brendan and the viewers around the world, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I'll just let him down. Oh, South Island, I tell you what, you've won me. Look at that. Doesn't come any better than that.
That's a
I'll just
ripper.
let him down and you can do the forceps job.
All right.
Good on you.
You're going to give this one the kiss, Rex.
Oh, I certainly am. Well, look how easy that's hooked. We've been at it most of the day, folks. And I can tell you now, perseverance has paid off for us. The guide has seen fish that I didn't even know existed. The bush and the human incinerator, as usual, have made fools of themselves.
There he goes.
But folks, how do you like our working conditions? With a view like that, and with you people, you don't get much better than that. What a beautiful, beautiful fish. Oh, Will Spry, Rexy shouts tonight. Congratulations,
Good
young
job,
man.
Rex. Nicely
Congratulations.
done. Nicely done.
Fantastic. That's what fishing's all about.
That's great. That's great.
You know, folks, even a fellow like me who's been all around the world fishing, I reckon one of the great advantages in coming somewhere new is hiring the services of a guide. And then what happens is, if you're casting your selection to a trout and it's just rejecting it, you can go to the guide and he can sort of give you some advice on what the fish might be taking. He's gone.
He's gone.
The added advantage is, folks, if you don't catch a fish, you blame the guide. Thank you very much. There's mayflies and caddis under almost every stone.
Yeah. Very prolific, aren't they?
Oh, look at that.
Full of food.
Yeah,
That's how you get such a good head of big fish.
yeah.
They're there to be caught. Another 1.5 meters this side. We're going far across. Back up in here.
Well, Will, it's probably a good time to explain to our viewers why I'm not hooked up, because I don't know either. I can't cast any better than that. I'm not a great caster, but I think I've done well enough.
Rex, from my thinking, he's feeding in a very specific line, looking very specifically at food. And unless we can match the lay that he's in, spot on, we're a bit unlikely to pick him up. However, the problem is that he's moving around quite a bit also, and that makes it
Yeah.
even more difficult. Okay, Rex, we'll just head on down to this sandy part here.
Yeah.
We've got a nice clear cast from there. I'm not too likely to knock any rocks down into the water.
Well, that's like asking an elephant to only have one peanut. Will, I'm 120 kilos. Don't tell my missus. 125.
She'll put you on the diet. Yeah.
125 after the beautiful cooking here in New Zealand.
Okay. A couple of them rising here at the moment, Rex. We've got one back in here a little closer to us. And
Yep.
the other one, you just saw him rise then in the foam line. There he
Yeah.
goes again.
Yeah.
There's one back from him a little as well. We'll just keep an eye on him. Here he comes towards us now. You can just see him across the bottom there.
Okay.
You see him drifting in?
Yes, I can.
Right in close. He's just on that secondary bubble line, just in closer here. Drifting back out again. If we're lucky, we might get him to take. Idea is to start at the end, at the bottom of the run of the pool,
Yep.
and work your way back up into them. We won't attack this guy first because the ones downstream may spook him. So we'll have a go at this one that's back down below him a little bit.
See him there.
Yep. You need to land about 2 or 3 feet above him. He's heading back into the bubble line and settle there. That's good. Good length. Spot on. That's nice. Strike there, Rex. Good shot. You got him. Nice one. Good shot.
Now that's perseverance, isn't it?
Look at that. I reckon that's a little rainbow there.
It's a rainbow.
nice rainbow.
It is too.
Yep.
Gee, didn't he?
There he is.
He might have actually.
Oh, look at him go.
Wacko.
He's got a bit of pull, hasn't he?
I reckon we've been fishing for a brown, but I reckon he might have just come
He
in from
could've-
behind and said, "Mate, if you're not going to take it, I am."
Yeah,
Move."
seemed to slip in behind that guy, didn't he? Good shot.
It's a little bit like a vegetarian at a barbecue saying, "I'm not going to have that steak," and I say, "Well, get out of the road, Cyril. It's mine." Oh, I tell you what,
He's got a bit of go, hasn't he?
He has got a bit
He's
of
not
go.
happy about you there.
Oh,
I think he'd rather have something else in his mouth than that fly.
for sure. Oh, gee whiz.
Nice one.
What a nice fish.
Good and go. You got him on the reel there.
Yeah, I'm going to put
Good
him on
shot.
the reel. Oh, gee.
Well done.
Oh, gee,
One on one.
That little dry emerger, eh? What we did, folks, we greased up a little nymph and set it on top to sort of imitate what this bloke was feeding on with his mate. The nymphs are coming from underneath the rocks and they're making their way to the surface of the water before they hatch out into the adult insect. And they're taking them just before they come out. Beautiful rainbow.
Isn't he a nice fish?
Oh, isn't he in sensational
Full of spirit.
condition? Look
That's a
at that.
great fish.
Nice male
In great
and
condition.
hooked right in the lip. Look at that.
That's a ripper.
Gee whiz. Well, I don't reckon it gets much better than that, Will.
It's hard to beat, Rex.
It is hard to beat. And
Should we
there
let him
I
go?
look at that.
He's away.
But without sort of dwelling on the moment and getting a bit emotional about Dad, I reckon if he's looking down on us today, he'd be proud of you because you set this up. And I reckon he'd say that bald-headed fellow with the beard's come a long way since he bought his old Black Queen Jarvis Walker right up to my joint 20 years ago.
I think so.
Will Spry, the son of a gun, continuing on a family fly fishing tradition. It don't get much better than that, folks.
That looks so awesome. One of these days I'd love to get down to New Zealand and do a bit of fly fishing myself because it just looks like so much fun, and New Zealand trout are huge. Anyway, thank you very much, Rex. Wow, haven't I got some big shoes to fill now, coming in after Rex Hunt. Ha! Speaking about Rex, you know that dinosaur, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, got the big legs and it stands upright and it's got the short little arms? Did you know that they can't clap? They can't clap their hands. It's not because their arms are too short. It's because they're extinct. They're gone. Anyway, folks, on a serious note, tonight I'm going to be presenting you with one of the most exciting forms of freshwater fishing here in Australia, and that is surface fishing for Murray cod. Anybody that's been lure fishing for Murray cod will be able to tell you how exciting it is to get a top water strike, or what we call a boof. We call it a boof because when the Murray cod hits a surface lure, unlike a trout that'll slurp the fly off the surface or other species that'll just grab the lure, the cod doesn't just grab it. Sometimes they'll sit under it and they'll come up and they'll open their mouth. All the water comes in and makes a boof kind of a sound. We call it, it's like an implosion. Then they'll grab it, they'll turn around and their tail will roll over and slap on the water. You get a tail slap, you get the implosion, and we call it a boof. It's just a loud sound, and it's very, very exciting. And one of the scariest things you'll do, apart from stand on a snake, when you're fishing here in freshwater Victoria, is have a big or decent-sized Murray cod and boof your lure at your feet.
one of the really cool things about surface fishing for Murray cod is that the fish don't have to be big. Even the small fish can be very, very exciting. Another really cool thing about surface fishing for Murray cod is that you never get snagged. You can see where you're fishing because you're fishing on the surface. Occasionally you might foul up on a snag that's a little bit under the water, but you're more likely to lose your lure in a gum tree than what you are on a snag. It's an economical way to fish because you don't lose many lures. It's a very exciting way to fish. One of the biggest downfalls, particularly for me as a YouTuber, is that the low light periods of the day and throughout the night are the best times. I still do catch cod during the day on surface lures, as you'll see in this video that I'm about to present, but the sunrise and sunset are my favourite times, and some people will fish all through the night. I'd like to, maybe when I was 20 years younger, but these days I like to be home and in bed at night. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to be showing you a few different clips. I'm going to show you a small Murray cod that gets caught just to demonstrate how aggressive these fish are, and you'll see that the lure is not much bigger than the fish. I'm going to show you, I think it might even be the last Murray cod that I caught on a surface lure before winter, back in April. You can see the cod just sitting under the lure. He swirls 3 or 4 times, and I knew he was there, and just when I thought he'd gone, it almost lifted the lure clean out of the water, then bang, an approximately 60 centimetre Murray cod hit the lure at my feet, frightened the bejesus out of me, and the result was a lovely fat Murray cod. I'm going to show you just a couple of other random ones. One day I was out swimming with my wife. I cast into a nice spot and almost got the lure back, and the nice little cod about 40 centimetres long grabbed it in front of me. This video will just show you how awesome Murray cod fishing is. One of these bits of footage is a 65 centimetre trout cod. Now, trout cod are totally protected. They're not a cross between a Murray cod and a trout. They're a native cod, just like a Murray cod, but they're more of an upland cod, and they almost became extinct a few years ago. And back in the late 90s and early 2000s, fisheries authorities and a guy in New South Wales by the name of Stuart Rowland done a lot of research with this. They worked out how to breed them in captivity or artificially spawn them. They started restocking. They started doing a lot of habitat restoration, and as a result, the trout cod have come back and they're now spawning for themselves and fending for themselves. And it's just testimony to the great work that scientists at the Arthur Ryler and just all across the board have done. But anyhow, watch this trout cod. I knew he was there. On the very first cast, I don't get a bite, I don't get a strike, I don't get anything. All I see is a big swirl of water that we call a boil, indicating to me that something was under my lure, just turning really fast, and the tail's created a bit of a boil. As I bring the lure in, you'll see after, I think it's 4 or 5 casts, I see it boil 2 or 3 times. I know it's there, and that's why I don't leave. And then it goes bang, and the result is a lovely fat trout cod, or what the old timers used to call a blue nose cod. They're totally protected and they have to be released. And we don't target them, but they take the same sort of lures and baits and techniques as Murray cod, so we catch them inadvertently on a regular basis. But anyway, the takeout from that particular clip is watch your lure closely. Because if I wasn't watching my lure, if I was just casting out and looking around at the trees, I wouldn't have even known there was a fish there because I wouldn't have seen the swirls. Murray cod on surface lures, you want to put this one on your bucket list, folks, because it's a fantastic way to fish. Too much. Too many gigawatts through the influx capacitor. I'll get a fish tonight, I can just feel it. Oh, I got him! Look at that, told you I could feel it. Right on cue. Gee whiz, I wasn't even looking. Wow. I said it because I could hear a Perrin's tree frog singing in a tree behind me, that and I thought, I'm going to get a fish tonight, and just as I said it, bang! The little air frog munching goodoo. Oh, what a ripper. Let's send this little goodoo home. See ya, buddy. Oh, off it went. Happy as 10 Murray cod. Oh, geez, that didn't frighten me much. Got him! Got him! He boofed it. I got one. Did you hear that first boof? Lovely little Murray cod on the smuggler, the chase bait smuggler. There we go, folks. Have a look at that. I am standing chest deep in water, and that cod boofed the lure about 2 metres in front of me, frightened the life out of me. I paused it, then he went bang and grabbed it. Whoa, Tim, something swirled under me lure. Look at the big tail of the waves. Something swirled under it. There he is, see? Twice. Oh, he hit it, just. Still there. Oh, he's a big fish. I reckon he's a good fish. Got him! Look at that! Whoa! He's not a monster, but he's not a bad fish. Look, Tim. Did you see that? He followed it all the way across. He hit it 3 or 4 times over there. Now that was super exciting. Am I filming? Yes, I am. Am I happy? You betcha. We're going to get a quick measure. My iometer says about 56 centimetres. I'll unhook him, get a measure and a photo, then we'll let him swim away. You beauty. Well, folks, I stuffed up a little bit with the camera. I still haven't got the hang of this GoPro business yet. Tim measured it. It was 53 centimetres. The iometer was out by 3 centimetres. And I released him right there. You're going to have to just take my word for that. And you can still see a few bubbles where he swam off. I was in photo mode, but thankfully I was in video mode for the hookup. I got the hookup and I've got a photo of you measuring it, Tim, but I haven't quite got the release because of a camera malfunction. Photo mode instead of video mode. I don't care. I'm just happy to have caught that magnificent Murray cod late in April. You beauty. Oh, there's a swirl right behind me lure. The fish just swirled right behind my lure. Oh, lightning was close. Right about there. I had a swirl, but he didn't boof it. Oops. I had to cast better than that. This is insane. Thunder and lightning. Oh, he swirled again. He swirled. There's another swirl just on the downstream side of it. He won't hit it. He's swirling around it, but he won't actually hit it. Got him. You hit it that time? Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a nice fish too. Ooh. I got one. Have I ever? Oh, he's a ripper. Whoa, that was an exciting. Look at this. I think it's a big trout cod. It's a big something, whatever it is. Whoa, look at this. Whoa! That has got to be close to 65 centimetres of trout cod. That is that's a massive trout cod, so fat. Can you come and get a photo for me, bro? Taken on the Depths Buzz Jet. And I had a nice decent boof under this log on cod opening, and I reckon it's the same fish. What a ripper! You should have seen it. He swirled under it several times. That is an absolute ripper of a trout cod. It's got a massive big head. It's got to be nudging 70 centimetres. Just the weight of it, I reckon it's about 10 pounds. What a magnificent catch and a memorable catch for me. Caught on the depths buzzjet as one of the most epic thunderstorms you're ever likely to encounter comes across. Goodbye, my friend. I am absolutely stoked. I cast my diving lure through there earlier and couldn't get it down. Oh, something just puffed that. I wasn't looking. A really small little touch. Either it just swirled it or it was a small fish, one or the other. It was right there. Got him. Oh my God, that has got to be the smallest cod I've ever caught on a surface lure. That is... Oh my God, look at that. Have a look at that. They say to hold them by their stomach, but it's a bit hard, but it's 4 inches long. Have a look at the size of this Murray cod that I've just caught on this depths buzzjet, would ya? That wouldn't be 15 centimetres long. He hit it in the first cast, then he hit it again the next cast. Absolutely incredible. Wow. That is a record for me. There he goes. You probably didn't hear the splash when he hit the water because it wasn't big enough.
Guys, how good was that? That was Robbie fishing, totally annihilating the freshwater cod off the top with that lure there, the smuggler. I think it was a budgie smuggler, wasn't it? It was a budgerigar with wings, pulling it through the surface of the water, waddling left and right, causing the big eruptions, those boils, those boofs, as he called them. Amazing. And guys, if you live in suburbia, for example in Sydney, which is where the next segment's going to be, where I'm going to be using small surface lures, chasing your bread and butter, such as your brim, your flathead and your whiting, you can get that similar excitement as well. Of course, fishing is broad and wide, variety of species open using surface lures. I'm just going to run you through 3 types that do work well in Sydney. I've just got them back here, just behind on the shelf right here. Let me pick one up. So here's one example. Just get my face out of the screen so the focus is onto the lure. And you can see here, this is a typical surface lure, which they call a surface walker. You'll see first up, there's no bib. It's a nice, interesting shape. Doesn't appear to have any action, but the buoyancy allows it to float on the surface of the water. And as you impart the action and pull it through the water, like so, little twitches, it's going to do a little deviation off center, which will cause it to dart left and right. We call that one a walk the dog action. That's with this lure style right here. Let's go check out the next one that I've got on the shelf, and that's this little bad boy here. Get that in focus. That one is a little 50mm Berkeley popper from the Protect series. And the way that lures like these work is that you can always tell a popper by the shape of the front bib. Sorry, did I say bib? Because these ones are bibless. The shape of the front of the lure, it's cupped. So what that does is it grabs a little bit of the water and causes it to be pushed forward when you pull it through the water, causing a little popping sound and the water to splash up above the surface and also down below. And so that's kind of like what happens there with this lure. Sorry about the focus, guys. We'll run through one more before we start the segment, and that's what's going to be shown in the next segment here. Just real quick, this one, just to get your appetite wet. First of all, the most interesting shape, it's not even straight. It's like a bent minnow, the OSP bent minnow being the original shape. This one, again, is a Berkeley Protect banana surface bender. And because of the unique shape and its non-linear axis that it is off, it's just going to show the most erratic action. It'll dive under the water, pop over the water, turn left, turn right. And even though this is the most interesting shape, it's one of the easiest lures to use. And guys, sit back and relax. Gonna use this lure right now in the next segment. Shroom on the Parramatta River today, back for another round using the Berkeley Protect lures. Check this out right in the bag here. Check that out. Anytime Fitness. No, I don't mean that. There's no salads in here. Let's just check and see what we've got in here. We've got a bunch of lures. Let's see what we're going to use first. Lucky Dip right here. What's that? Berkeley Bender 76, a surface lure right now? Well, we're going to have to give it a go, guys. Check that pink head, that green body, and there's a bit of orange just behind the neck there. Now, what's interesting is that it's not a straight lure. You can see the axis along the lure, it's bent, hence the bent minnow, or the bender. The bender, guys. Banana bender. So what's good about these lures is that because of the bent shape, you've got a really erratic action there. I see that there's mullet that I'm approaching right now. You can work them quick, you can work them slow. I've mostly had success either periodically twitching them slowly or just giving a few quick twitches and then letting it settle for a minute and then repeating it like that. This probably isn't the greatest color for this kind of water, more like a sandy flats kind of lure. I'm fishing pretty much over mud in really brown waters. All right, we spent about 20 minutes fishing at the last spot. Wasn't feeling too confident with the water level, so I've moved to another bay. All right, here we go, first cast. Yeah, there we go, brim under it. Please hit it. Oh, so close. Come on, little guy. There's definitely brim on the left there. We'll leave it there. Just one twitch. Let's see. Come on, strike. Strike, buddy. There's like 10, 20 brim there. Come on. There we go. That was a hit. See that? Brim. I see it. I just saw that brim. It's like in the little walk here. Changing technique here. Yep, we found a technique that works, guys. Little dab downwards. Periodically. Working it like a popper. Just dabbing the rod tip. A little bit, making it dive a little bit under, and I elicited a strike there. There we go. On, guys. It's running right. It's got to be a brim. Yep, brim. Kick it off the rocks. Yes, guys. Around that oyster, lift it over. It's not going to tangle me. Yep, around. That's how you get them. That's how you get. Don't let those. As long as you don't let your line hit the oysters. Oh, look, I might lose this fish. It's got to have to be quick. 3, 2, 1. That's it. There we are, guys. So it just popped right out, huh? The pink chartreuse. Amazing looking color. Love these colorful things. We're gonna have to let this little guy go, mate. You've gone through enough. Plucked you out of the top of the water column. See you later, mate. Back in to the Parramatta River. Let's pop our heads around this corner, guys. Navigating my way across this pretty rugged terrain, actually. Yeah, well, of course it's slippery because I'm walking. Come on, we want to get a brim today. On this Protect Bender, 76mm, in that dazzling color. You know, the pink head, pink, orange, green, yellow. Surprising. There we go, on. What was that? Like a barrel right out of the water. Come here, little dude. You. Back out here the next day, guys, after taking critical damage, taking that slam yesterday on the gear, but we're back out here today with the brim. You. Right, another spot. We are moving around, trying to complete this challenge. Got 2 fish on it already, 2 brim, but I want to get at least 1 more. Obviously conditions are horrendous, but you know, what can you do? These are the cards that I got dealt with. That's the conditions of the challenge. There we go, got it. Yep, got it. What is that, whiting? Yep, whiting, 3, 2, 1. You! We just got him, guys. Yes! 3 fish for the challenge. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, slam the bag down. Pumped. That's it. I don't care what size it is. I don't even care that it's not a brim. I don't care. Yeah. Woo. Little whiting. Off you go, buddy. Yes. Guys, what do you think about this lure challenge? Thanks for your support as always, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Thanks, Shroom. How contagious and infectious is Shroom's enthusiasm for fishing? He really throws himself into it, quite literally, on those slippery rocks. That had to hurt. I wonder if he broke any gear. Hey, but you know, it was really interesting to see Shroom pull that little whiting on quite a large surface lure. Catching summer, silver or yellowfin whiting on surface lures has become a real trend in the last decade or so. It was pioneered by people like Kevin Gleed and Bushy, but it's now become mainstream and a lot of people are getting into it, but some still struggle with it. And for that reason, I put together this YouTube instructional clip to show you how best to target those whiting on surface lures, particularly when you're wading or walking the banks. Have a look at this. Wading the warm, shallow flats of our southern estuaries and casting surface lures in search of whiting is without a doubt one of my favourite summer pastimes. I just can't get enough of it. It's amazing how shallow these fish can be found at times. I think a lot of anglers tend to wade right past the best action as they push out into deeper water, often spooking good fish in the process. I always start in the shallowest margins close to shore, and the bulk of my best whiting action occurs in water between about ankle and knee deep. If you're getting the legs of your shorts wet, you're probably out too far. Make no mistake, some of the biggest and most cunning whiting will be found in water barely deep enough to cover their backs. I'll always try to set myself up to fish with any breeze at my back. This greatly extends my casting range with light surface lures. I firmly believe that the further you can cast, the more whiting you'll pin. Not only do you cover more water with long casts, you're also presenting your lure to fish that have no idea of your presence. Keep moving slowly too as you cast ahead, constantly covering new water. As you wade, no matter how quietly you do it, you'll inevitably spook fish. These alarmed fish flush ahead of you and in turn spook other fish, effectively creating a dead zone around you. How big that dead zone is depends a lot on how much fishing pressure the particular waterway receives. But trust me, the further you can cast beyond your own personal dead zone, the more whiting you'll catch. That's just a fact of life. There are two main types of surface lures that work best on whiting: little cup-faced poppers and walk-the-dog style stick baits. Each one has its day, but as a rule of thumb, I prefer the more subtle action of the stick baits in calm, clear water, while they tend to go for poppers when it's choppy or stirred up. But don't be afraid to experiment. Rules were made to be broken. Each of these lure styles needs to be worked a little differently. The killer presentation with cupped face poppers is a constant and reasonably brisk pop, 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 pop. Remember, you're not chasing GTs, you don't need to rip hard and create violent bloops and chugs. Just a nice steady pop, pop, popping cadence that keeps a little bit of spray spitting up ahead of the lure. Often the best way to do this is to keep your rod tip up above the horizontal, but that can vary from one popper to another. Getting the best action out of a stick bait is a tad trickier. It involves bouncing or twitching the rod tip rhythmically while cranking the reel at a steady, slow to medium pace. Keeping the rod tip down below the horizontal can help. When you get it right, the lure bobs seductively from side to side. This action's called walking the dog. Some people really struggle with this retrieve at first, complaining that it's a bit like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. But once you crack it, it quickly becomes second nature, and it's a deadly way to catch whiting, plus a whole heap of other species. The big secret with whiting on surface lures is to keep the lure constantly moving. Don't pause it and let it sit like you might for bream or bass. Keep it popping or bobbing along, even if the fish are slashing and chopping at it. If you stop, 9 times out of 10 a following whiting will lose interest and simply peel off. Of course, if you raise a bream instead of a whiting, it's a whole different deal, but we'll save that lesson for another time. So just to recap, don't ignore the really shallow stuff. Wade as quietly as you can, cast long with the wind at your back, and work your lures properly with a constant rhythmic action. I guarantee that once the water warms past 20 degrees Celsius or so, and the sand, silver or yellowfin whiting become really active up on the flats, you will start catching them this way. And when you do, you'll probably never want to catch them any other way. It's just too much fun. Until next time, tight lines and happy hunting. So there you go. Catching whiting on surface lures is not quite as difficult as a lot of people seem to think. If you follow the tips I gave you in that video clip this summer, I just about guarantee that you'll get some. And if you're wondering why I didn't catch any while I was making that, I did it at a time when they weren't really looking up and they weren't all that active. I find that the water needs to be at least 22 or 23 degrees before those yellowfin whiting start actively chasing surface lures. That's still weeks, maybe even a month or so away from me down here on the far south coast of New South Wales, although you'll notice I'm wearing a summer shirt this evening. It's actually starting to warm up. But for those of you living a bit further north, that action's probably already started. So be sure to get out there and give it a crack this summer, and we'd love to see some of you catches. Look, that's just about it for tonight, but we've got one more clip for you. We're going to dig back into the Rex Hunt TV archives again to join myself and Bushy at Wigram Island in the top end, up in the Northern Territory. I've got a fly rod popper on and I'm trying to catch queenfish, and Bushy has got that Black Death rod that became so famous. I know a lot of you love seeing the Black Death in action. Well, you're really going to see it in action tonight as Bushy rides shotgun to try and keep the sharks away from the queenies that I'm catching. Have a look. There's plenty of bait in here, isn't there?
Yeah, it's right up on that little shelf too. There's not too much of it out over that blue bit.
No, but as this tide continues to drop, they're going to be forced to get back out there. I reckon there's going to be a little bit of action here. Yeah, what a great spot. Isn't this a magnificent piece of fishing territory? This is Wigram Island in the English Company group of islands, about 2 or 3 hours cruise north of Gove in the Northern Territory. Just around the corner there behind me is Gove Dive and Fishing Charters headquarters. It's a beautiful bush camp. Bushy, we've been there for a couple of days. It's a good spot, isn't it? I feel pretty relaxed.
Absolutely fantastic spot. You've got the tents roll up at the sides, the breeze blows through. Every time you open your eyes, you're looking out over this bay. It's just great.
And half the time you can see bait jumping out there, just like it is in that corner over there now, mate. I'm going to race you to it. Yes!
Oh, you're joking.
Oh, right in close there too. It's not real big.
What is it? Look at that.
Yeah, what is it, Bushy?
The spotted, striped, big mouth.
Look at that for a mouth. Blimey, what a mouth.
Yeah, that fish has got a fairly big mouth too.
It's a white-lined something. That's
Groper.
what I'd call it. It's certainly something in the groper clan. I tell you what, it nailed that fly. Just typical of this place though. Middle of the day, we've just had lunch back at the camp, wandered out and caught a little, you know, it's not a big fish, but it's just indicative of how much action there is around this place. What Russell's done is anchor us over a piece of reef that he's caught fish on before, and now we're burleying or chumming, just putting a little bit of fish into the water to attract some life, and we're going to start throwing flies in there. Hopefully we might come across some Spanish mackerel, giant trevally, who knows, in these waters. I'm using a high density sinking line here to get the fly down nice and deep. Once I get it down probably 10-12 metres under the surface, I'm stripping it in as fast as I can to imitate a bait fish coming up through the water column, and I'm stripping the loose line into this plastic box so that it doesn't blow all around my feet and spill into the water. It's a good system. I've caught a lot of fish doing this. Yes! Oh.
Call the bus.
Not a bad fish, Bushy.
What do you reckon?
What it is.
Oh, nominate?
Trevally clan?
Trevally clan. That's a fairly wimpy nomination up here.
Into the backing. Ooh, he's a nice strong fish. See if he's got a mate with him, Bushy.
All right, I'll drop this jig down, see what happens.
Oh, he's being sharked. Oh.
How's he ever? Have a look at that. Oh, look at that. There's about 5 of them.
Look at the
they're
blood.
already sharks. I'll give you the message, Steve. Don't fall in.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Bushy, that's my fish.
You mean that was your fish?
Yes! Oh. Look at the shark!
I'll see if I can hook the shark on the lure.
Yeah, get him out of the way for me.
I'll
Bushy.
try.
That'd be great.
See if he'll take this lure.
There he is. The shark must be under him.
There's the fish.
Right up on the surface.
Queenie.
It's a queenie, eh?
There's the sharky. I can't see.
There's
No,
the
he's
shark.
right on it.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them, Bushy.
I'm trying to get him on this lure.
Oh, the queenie jumped over their head.
Wouldn't you?
Oh, look, look. No, keep jumping, mate. Keep jumping. I'm with you.
They don't want to eat this lure, though. They're not that silly.
Oh, look at this, Bushy. Don't fall in.
Jeez, look at that. Oh, no.
Oh, Bushy.
He's got it.
Oh, Bushy, I got the shark.
What's the record shark on a fly rod, Stevie?
He's a big shark. Aren't they fast, those sharks? You know, like the queenie is going flat out and those sharks were turning with it.
Yeah, they sort of surrounded it too. There's
Yeah,
about
that's
4
true.
of them there. And one's going one way and the other one got in front of him. He was history. Oh, Queenie.
I just can't believe he won't let go unless the flyer's actually...
Just got stuck into him. I'd say the hook's into him.
Yeah,
Steve.
I'd say so. He would have bitten through the queenie by now.
And you've got a wire trace on there,
Yeah,
obviously.
short bit of wire. So I'm connected to a shark, like it or not. We'll see how he goes on the fly rod. He's a heavy beast.
It's funny, isn't it? They really know what's meat and what isn't. I had this big lure in there
Yep.
and just ripping it past them, and they
guess
didn't want to know about that.
The difference with your lure is it didn't have a little trickle of blood coming out of the corner of its mouth, and it didn't just have that smell and vibration
No,
that the real McCoy has.
certainly knew the difference.
Oh, you might have finally spat it out, or what's left of it. See what comes up out of the briny. There's not much of anything left on here. And I'd say he's got it again. Ah, Bushy.
Come on.
There he is.
Oh, 2 of them.
3 of them.
3 of them,
Oh
4
no,
of them.
I've got him this time. Bushy.
Steve, I think you're
I'm in
supposed to be...
serious strife here, mate.
Aren't you supposed to be catching the fish, not the other way around?
Oh, I'm going to blow a fly line here. Not careful. Got to get that drag off. Okay. Now I can get out from under the boat.
How are you going on the anchor rope?
I don't know. Now I've got the shark on. Well and truly. Okay. I'll see if I can bring this through, Bushy. It's gone right under the boat. Whoop, he spat it out again. I don't think I can't remember the last time I had so much fun and didn't land a fish.
Have you got a fly line left?
Yeah, the fly line's still there. I doubt if I've got a fly and a leader though. Well, we'll get a fish out of here in a minute, I'm sure. We can beat these sharks to it.
Well, that's it, Steve. I think we've been tormented enough. I'm going to go and rig up the Black Death. We'll see what happens here.
Good on you, mate.
Come on, Black Death. Come on, you can do it.
Oh, I'm on. Woo! Nice Queenie. Come on, baby. Woo, run.
Got one on
You
here.
got one?
Something.
Oh, Bushy, don't cut me legs off with that
Going
gel
north.
spun. I don't think that's a Queenie. You might have got a shark, eh? Oh,
No.
look at the
Might be
Queenies.
only Queenie.
Queenies are busting up all over the surface here.
What this is, Steve, but it's got to come up here. Come on. Oh, I don't
You
want
want
to
to come
fall
around me?
Oh, come here.
It's all happening here, folks. Oh!
Can you see what that is down there?
No.
Now it's coming out. It's coming out, folks. There we go. Come on, everything comes up when the Black Death pulls. Come on. Here he comes. That's a Queenie. Oh no, it's a bludger trevally.
Tarum. No, Tarum.
Genuine
Gold
Tarum.
spot,
Gold
yeah.
spot. Gold spot trevally.
Oh, nice one, Bushy.
Oh-wee.
I'll grab the net. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Russell.
There we
Yeah,
go.
Bushy, you take care of that. I've got a fish on here.
Thanks, Steve. Oh, genuine gold spot, eh? Get the hook out. I don't think we need this one, do we, Steve?
No, we'll put him back. They're actually pretty good tucker, those, but I think there's going to be plenty of other things here. This bloke's just about had enough. I'll tell you what, Bushy, I'll hang on to this bloke for you, and we'll knock a slab off him for sashimi tonight.
There we go, the genuine gold spot. And if you have a look right up on his back, just under that dorsal fin, you'll see why he gets his name. Those little gold spots. Nice long flowing pectorals. They're often called a bludger trevally because they fight like hell. But he wasn't any match for the Black Death. We'll see if we can get something bigger for the old Black Death later. Here we go, see you later. Yeehaw!
Yep, we'll keep him. That's what I got him on. It's a fly rod popper. It's actually made out of foam, a high density EVA foam with some feathers and a bit of flash material on the tail, and the cupped face bloops along on the surface when you strip it and really excites the Queenies. I'll get it back in there and see if I can get another one. Oh, here they are out to this side too.
Right there, just over.
Oh, are they? Oh, yeah, so they are. That was a really good cast, wasn't it? Won't come close to the boat. Oh, yes, they will. What a take. How good was that? Woo. He's a runner. Great fish. I reckon queenfish are just one of the best things to catch on a fly rod. That fish came completely out of the water and dived in on the popper as it took it as it re-entered. Oh, he's a scorcher too. It's not a bad Queenie, this one.
I think we're about to get a shark hook up, folks.
Getting a nibble, I think.
I think I've had a nibble. I think I've had a nibble. All right, for all the doubters out there, we'll see how good the old Black Death is. How long is it going to take to get this one up? Come on, Sharky.
When you've got a fair bit of line out like this and you get into the backing and you start recovering it, it's important just to use your finger just to guide it backwards and forwards across the spool as you recover line so that it doesn't all pile up in a heap in one spot. What'll happen then is it'll collapse or it'll jam up against the inside of the reel. You don't have to put much finger pressure on it, just enough to guide it back and forth. Ooh, it's a good fish. Ooh, bushy. Ooh.
Ha.
That didn't take long, did it?
No, it did not.
That has got to be
You're
the
not
worst
going
rod
anywhere.
in the known universe, Bushy, but it works, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm trying. Come on, Black Death, you're not trying. It's only a little. Oh, right in there.
Knocked him off.
Oh, I don't think anything's busted. I don't know what's happened there. Oh no, it's gone through the. I had a wire trace, a short one, and then some 100-pound mono. It's got through the 100-pound mono with something. Oh.
Probably its tail.
Back to the drawing board. Yeah, it might have hit it with its tail. It wasn't that long. Well, looks like we'll have to have a longer piece of wire. Have another go.
There we go. I'll pop him into my line stripping box. Whew. We'll hang on to this bloke for a nice fresh bit of bait for Bushy's shark fishing efforts.
Line fishing box, line stacking box. I've seen some euphemisms in my day. That wouldn't be a great big starling stock up for evening meal box.
Well, it could be. Could be my lunch box, yes.
Could be. All right, now we'll see what we can do with these sharkies. I'm giving my friend Stevie a hard time. We'll see if we can torment one back.
I think you're getting a nibble, mate. I cannot believe that rod. That has got to be the worst rod in the universe, but it works. I think you got him, Bushy.
I think he's on.
Ooh, he's going down, down, down. Hope there's not too much reach down there.
I think the Black Death and I might have bitten off a bit more than we can chew. He's coming a bit at a time. Bit at a time, Steve. You come in here, eat my friend Stevie's fish. Well, we've had a nice look at him. Now it's just a matter of Steve can get close enough to cut that wire so that we won't have much to encumber him while it sort of rusts out and he gets rid of it.
I'll grab this heavy nylon.
Yes, it doesn't matter if he busts off, Steve.
Yeah.
Just
Here
hang
he
on.
is. Let's just have a close look at him. Oh, what a beautiful shark.
Streamline, look at the teeth.
And that evil, evil eye. See those little pores there, Bushy, behind his eyes? They're those ampullae of Lorenzini, the little sensory organs, these little tiny holes, little pores you can see in his skin. And they actually use those to detect electrical currents in the water down to 1/1,000,000th of a volt, which is about as much electricity as a flounder buried in the sand transmits just by its muscle movements. And it can pick up those very weak electrical currents and home in on all kinds of prey. You see the eye with the vertical pupil there. He's one of the whalers. I wouldn't even try and guess which whaler he is. There's that many in the family. And they're found all over the world. They're called bull sharks in some parts of the world, Galapagos sharks. There's a whole bunch of them. 5 gill slits, like most of the sharks. Anyway, I'm going to cut this wire, Bushy. I can get it quite close to his mouth, and that mild steel hook will just rust away fairly readily. I'm keeping my fingers away from the bitey bits. Whoa! Off like a shot. I'll tell you what, that's been about as good a session as you can have with as fewer fish as we got into the boat. Bushy, we've been watching everything else feed. How about we go back to the bush camp and have a feed ourselves? Oh, that really takes me back to some great memories. Bushy and I had so much fun travelling around the country and around the world together for the Rex Hunt Fishing Adventure Days. That's it for tonight. We really hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for spending some time with us. Thanks for all your wonderful questions and comments that have been coming in on all of our YouTube channels, because don't forget, this is streamed simultaneously on my Starlo Gets Real channel, on Rex's Rex Hunt Fishing Adventures channel, on Shroom's Shroom Fishing channel, and on Robbie Alexander's Robbie Fishing channel. Make sure you jump on there, give them all the big thumbs up and subscribe to them all, because we're all bringing out new videos all the time and we'd love to see you on there. I guarantee we'll have a prize for you next week as well, so you won't want to miss that. Until then, this is Starlo wishing you tight lines.
Well, I'm so hot. I've just stepped off a plane from Phuket to Bangkok. I'm here at Bung San Land in Bangkok here, the most prolific fishing venue you'll ever go to. My name's John Pierce. I'm with my good friend here, Pikrit. We're gonna show you some great fishing. I've just seen a good show, but I think between us, using this secret product he's got now, he's just developed, we're gonna show you something epic. You keep watching out for us. Thailand, #1.